News radio broadcast. This is your host Afshan Jabin.
And this is Akshat Maturi. Let's get started with the primetime headlines for today.
US virus death toll exceeds 170,000.
Nigeria to reopen airports for international flights, aviation minister says.
Philippines promises refreshed coronavirus approach as capital exits strict lockdown.
Mexican president to present plan to reactivate economy in 2 weeks.
Gyms in New York set to reopen at reduced capacity.
England's exams regulator reverses course.
Italy halts nightclubs and ballrooms activities.
Britain encourages at-risk groups to sign up for vaccine trials.
France deploys riot police in Marseille to enforce masks.
Ghana leader says airports may reopen next month.
Thai economy worst hit in 20 years.
Indonesia reports 1,821 new cases with 57 new deaths.
Ireland has no plans for more local lockdowns.
Malaysia and Singapore reopen border to business travel.
Philippine minister test positive for virus for second time. US virus death toll exceeds 170,000. The total number of coronavirus deaths in the United States stands at 170,136 according to Johns Hopkins University tally. Meanwhile, the total number of positive cases in the country has exceeded 5.4 million.
Nigeria to reopen airports for international flights, aviation minister says. The airports have been closed since March 23rd to all but essential international flights as part of the country's efforts to combat the coronavirus.
Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte eased the strict coronavirus lockdown in and around the capital, Manila, as his government promised a refreshed approach to fighting COVID-19 that includes intensified testing. Duterte, in a televised address, said there was a need to reopen the economy with small and medium enterprises barely surviving, while at the same time calling on the public to follow the safeguards. The Philippines, which before the pandemic was one of the Asia's fastest growing economies, fell into recession for the first time in 29 years with a record slump in the second quarter due to pandemic-induced lockdown.
The Mexican government will present a plan to reactivate the economy in 2 weeks to help bring the country back from a sharp recession caused by the pandemic, President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador said. In 15 days, a plan for the reactivation of the economy will be presented. Lopez Obrador said during a regular conference nothing that the government is in talks with the powerful business lobby CCE.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said that gyms can open as soon as August 24th at 33% capacity under strict health measures, including wearing mandatory face masks.
Following increasing criticism, England's school examinations regulator admitted it had made a mistake with the way it awarded grades to school students after their exams were cancelled due to COVID-19. Roger Taylor, chair of the Ofqual Exam Board regulator, said the body had taken the wrong road and had to change course as he offered an apology to students and to schools. Outrage among students grew after Ofqual used an algorithm to assess grade predictions made by teachers and allowed those grades for almost 40% of students taking their main school leaving exams. According to a new methodology, grades will now be based on teachers' assessments instead.
No more clubbing in Italy. Health Minister Robert Speranza announced in his latest effort to curb the spread of novel coronavirus. Activities taking place in nightclubs and dance halls across the whole country are now halted until September 7th. Doing so, we send a signal to the country that we need to keep the attention high, Speranza said as the number of infections are increasing.
The UK government is calling on elderly people and volunteers from Black and Asian minority groups to sign up to a vaccine trial registry to boost efforts to find a working vaccine against COVID 19 that offers protection for higher risk groups. Protecting those at risk is the only way we will end this pandemic, said Kate Bingham, chair of the UK Vaccine Task Force. Over 100,000 people have been volunteered to take part in the vaccine trial, Britain's business ministry said, but more volunteers are needed to make sure candidate shots work for everyone.
The French government is sending riot police to the Marshall region to help enforce mask requirements as more and more towns and neighborhoods are imposing mask rules starting Monday to slow rising infections. Government spokesman Gabriel Attal said 130 police officers are being sent to the Marshall region, which expanded its outdoor mask requirements to all farmers, markets, and more neighborhoods on Friday. France has seen scattered incidents of violence by people refusing to wear masks. Paris expanded its mask requirements on Saturday, and other towns around France started requiring masks outdoors on Monday.
President Nana Akufo-Addo has indicated the Ghana's Kotoka International Airport may reopen next month after measures are set in place to test arriving passengers for coronavirus. Under my instructions, the Ministry of Aviation, the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority and the Ghana Airports Co-Limited have been working with the Ministry of Health and its agencies to excursion our readiness to reopen our airport, Akufo-Addo said. I want to ensure that we are in a position to test every single passenger that arrives in the country to avoid the spread of virus, he said, adding the airport might be reopened on September 1st.
Thailand's economy is expected to see its biggest slump in more 20 years due to pandemic. GDP is expected to shrink between 7.3 and 7.8% this year, said Thosapon Sirisampan, Secretary General of the Government National Economy and Social Development Board. An earlier forecast put the decrease at between 5 and 6%. It would be the biggest annual contraction since the 1998 Asian financial crisis.
Indonesia reported 1,821 new cases, bringing its total cases to 1,41,370, the government's COVID-19 task force said. It also recorded 57 more deaths, taking its fatalities to 6,207, the highest coronavirus death toll in Southeast Asia.
Hong Kong has reported 44 new coronavirus cases as the government announced an extension to physical distancing measures aimed at controlling further spread of the virus, which has resurged in the city since early July. While the number of daily cases has come down from triple digits in recent weeks, authorities have cautioned residents from becoming compliant, warning that the situation remains severe. Restrictions including a ban on dining in restaurants from 6 p.m. and mandating of masks in all outdoor public areas are set to remain in force until August 25th, the government said in the statement on Monday.
Ireland's health minister said he has no conversations with his public health team about implementing other lockdown, and the government's intention remains to lift 2-week restrictions in the countries of Kildare, Offaly and Louth. Health officials will meet on Monday to decide if further measures are needed to slow a sharp increase in the spread of coronavirus that the government and officials find deeply concerning.
The land crossing between Malaysia and Singapore has reopened as the neighbors further relaxed curbs first imposed in March. Business travel of up to 14 days is allowed, while some Malaysians who are employed in Singapore can cross the border to go to work. An estimate 300,000 commuters crossed the front line each day before a lockdown was imposed in Malaysia on March 18th. Singapore initiated its lockdown on April 7th. Both have since eased restrictions, but borders remain closed to tourists.
A Philippine government minister has tested positive for coronavirus. 5 months after an initial diagnosis, authorities said, as experts investigate whether he had been reinfected. Interior Secretary Eduralo Ano, who is helping to spearhead the country's virus response, returned a positive test on Saturday after experiencing flu like symptoms last week. He was first diagnosed with COVID 19 in March, but did not show any signs of the disease at the time.
That's all for Primetime Headlines. Stay tuned with ASP News radio broadcast.
Are you tired of pulling those persistent unwanted weeds that continue to grow through the cracks in your sidewalks and patio, or even in your favorite flower and strawberry beds? I have an answer. Clio Cleanup Weed and Grass Killer. Clio Cleanup Weed and Grass Killer kills all unwanted weeds, grass, and other plants to the root. The systemic action ensures that unwanted plants do not regrow. Results can be seen in a few days, so get rid of those troublesome weeds and grasses in the easy way. Use Clio Cleanup Weed and Grass Killer today. Clio Cleanup products are family made in Canada. You can find Clio Cleanup Grass and Weed Killer in your local hardware store, garden center, and farm feed store, or go to clio.com to find your retailer near you. If you think Martinezing was a great for dry cleaning, wait till you get a load of Island Cleaners. As of September 1st, all Martinezing locations will be Island Cleaners. But they are not only changing the name, soon they'll be bigger and better with ensured quality and faster turnaround, while still offering everyday discounts without any special occasion for them. Bring your clothes to the new Island Cleaners, formerly Martinezing, just bigger and better. Island Cleaners, open weekdays 7:30 to 6 and Saturday 8 to 5 on Eastern Avenue, Saturday 92 in Red Bay Plaza.
Hi, welcome to ASP News broadcast. I am Surya Prakash. Welcome to the Pep Talk. Today's guest is Indian cricketer Akhil. He talks about his up and down career in India colours so far, getting picked by the Daredevils in the recent IPL auction, his outlook on returning to the Indian side among the other innings. Welcome to the show, Akhil.
Thank you, Surya.
First of all, congrats on attracting the second highest bid on the IPL auction. What were your initial thoughts on the auction and on your move from Mumbai to Delhi?
Thank you, Surya. There was no planning as such. I went into the auction. I went to the Delhi. It feels good back to the old franchise.
Was there any kind of surprise that the amount that you attracted, or were you expecting something along those lines?
I was not expecting. I had no idea how much I would be going for. This comes as a surprise.
Let's talk about your domestic and Indian career. First of all, you were with your parents in the Middle East, but you have moved to the Chennai as a teenager. How hard was the transition? Because players always have this support system around them, but you have to grow on your own.
It was a tougher because initially I was used to staying with my parents, but then I got comfortable with this, and in journey I went a lot and gained a lot. It taught me a lot of things, made me independent and toughened me as a cricketer.
Are there times when you think how things may have been different if you are playing in a different era? Someone like MS Dhoni doesn't appear in the scene. Your career would have been appraised differently.
No, I'm very, very happy with the way things are. I'm not someone who thinks, oh, I wish this player was not there. I always wanted to play batsman for the team in India, and I have achieved a few times. I wanted it to get back in the team as a batsman and do well as I can.
You came into the team and sort of established yourself as a first choice keeper of Tamil Nadu, and after did that it was the inevitable that you will be long-term solution for the India behind the stumps. In fact, you debuted ahead of Dhoni in the 2004 season for the India, and you did the spectacular stumping of Michael Vaughan in the 2004 in one-day debut. There must have been tremendous expectations, not just from the people around you, but also from your own.
I sometimes feel there are more experience on me by myself. I feel I could do some things that with the time I learn, I have to know on a lot of things, like to achieve whatever I wanted to do. It has been a journey for me, the whole process to let me go of my ambitions, because it is very easy to sit down and keep thinking about it and get insecure. A better way to secure as it takes as it comes and keep playing.
I want to go over your career. You have been in the India scene for the last 10 years now. How would you have evaluated it? How it be done in the last 10 years?
There have been ups and downs. I have been played for a bit and dropped for a bit. then picked, and then dropped. It has been a case where I have played for the team for 3 to 4 years. That is my aim, to play, to be a regular in the team for at least for a good 3 to 4 years.
As you say, it was up and down. You were suddenly called to an open in the Newlands, Cape Town in 2007. What was that like? How prepared were you to play an opener in the test team?
I enjoyed it. When I used to open, I used to enjoy it. I was confident and enjoyed it. It was very great experience for me. At the end of the day, when you are young, you just wanted to play for Team India and contribute, and I was so different.
In terms of technical adjustment, what were the things that you had to go from the middle order to the opener, the two in South Africa?
Yeah, I had obviously to play the ball light, look to play them, and make sure the ball gets all. So I stayed in there for long as I can. These are my main targets.
Then you play against Bangladesh and England, but then towards the end of the year you were dropped, Akhil. What went there? Were you satisfied with your output as an opener?
I think that in a country like India where cricket is so big, the experiences are very high. It was so different for me. When you are an opener, then you are under extra pressure, because if you fail on the top of the innings, it looks that much more bad because there are regular openers who are waiting for a game. I played a few innings, and obviously international cricket is very tough. I was dropped. I was probably okay with that. It is a part of the life and it is a part of my cricketing journey.
Are there any regrets? Because as you said, it was a makeshift opener role. Did you expect any sort of longer rope given to you, Akhil?
No, not really, Surya. I'm not really someone who thinks about the past. I don't even remember half the things until spoken to me about it. I'm pretty relaxed. I'm very happy. Given a chance, I might do well over again. I'm totally fine. I'm not someone who will sit in the past too much.
There's a question from a listener, Teja. Was there any point where you were wondering about giving up wicket keeping and focus only as a playing for Indian as a batsman, Akhil?
No, keeping is much that came the way naturally, and there has been time where I have done and have been very times where I have not done very well. It has always been a part of me. I enjoy keeping, and it is good to have two aspects when you play the sport. Even if an adds keeping and batting, it definitely helps.
As I mentioned earlier, you were dropped after the Pakistan series, but the following year you go on to the play test matches versus Sri Lanka when Dhoni was taking a break. That Sri Lanka series was not great for the both wicket keeping and batsmen as for you.
It was probably my worst series without doubt. I did not get much runs with the bat, and we ended up losing the series. It was a very awful series for me personally and for the team.
I am assuming there was an opportunity to cement a test spot as in the middle order batsman or an opener. Ever, if Dhoni comes back, the question from the listener is, what was the most haunting failure of your career so far?
Could be, obviously. I had a couple of test matches do well, and I kind of did not do well in the test matches. But I said these things could happen to any cricketer. I'm not any different. You have to take it in your side and move forward.
What do you think could be the reason for the inconsistency, Akhil? Was it because you were used a stopgap option or is a no-win situation?
I think it has got to do with the mind, because sometimes I put so much pressure on myself because I will only be getting a couple of chances. That is one of the part of game that I want to improve. In whatever chances that I am given, I want to make the best of them, and I expect myself to be best as I can rather thinking, and then I'm going to get a couple of games. It is a mindset change that I require.
Okay, recently you came to the Indian squad for the Champion Trophy in England and you played the Tri-Series in West Indies and Zimbabwe. You were left out. What do you think went wrong in your performance, Akhil?
I had a very tough West Indies series. The pitches were tough to bat on. Not many, hardly anyone who made runs like Virat Kohli, I think. Not many got runs. It was a tough wicket to bat on at 200 to 220, like kind of low score gaining games. Not many were able to get starts and make runs. I did not do well there, and so that gave room for me to get dropped.
Yeah, okay. Last question. What is your outlook here and on now? You have played for 10 years in the nation setup and you may have another 10 years to look forward for now, I suppose. Where do you see yourself growing as a cricketer going further ahead again?
For a start, I would love to come back in the team. That's been my ultimate goal in the life. I wanted to touch too much, So I have to relax a bit. Not too much ambitions or goals that I keep setting myself. I keep riding wave and I keep going along as well as how many times goes.
And congrats on the IPL bid, Akhil. Hope you do well in Delhi.
Okay, thank you, Surya.
Alright, thanks a lot for being on the show, Akhil. It was an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much, Surya. It is also an absolute pleasure meeting on you.
It's not too early to start thinking about the colder weather ahead. The experts at the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence offer these tips to get your vehicle ready for the winter. Replace your worn wiper blades and keep plenty of washer fluid in hand. Replace your worn tires and check for the spare tire and jack. Check the heater and defroster. Have an ACE-certified technician check your battery, cables, radiator hoses and belts. Also have him check in the exhaust system for leaks, a potential deadly condition in closed vehicles. For more tips, log on to www.ace.com. Want a sneak peek of new Honda CR-V Black Edition? Close your eyes. The Honda CR-V Black Edition, all the power of SUV, all the clever thinking of Honda, all in black. See it yourself at Henry's Honda, Quarry Mall, Glasgow.
Hi, this is Suryateja Pasmarthi from ASP News, bringing you the latest updates on mobile phones and gadgets. After months of rumors and anticipation, it's finally time to see the Samsung Galaxy's new smartphones, wearables, and tablets in this flesh. Galaxy Unpacked 2020 is set to debut a massive lineup of Samsung devices that includes the hotly anticipated Galaxy Note 20, Galaxy Z Fold 2, Galaxy Watch 3, and Galaxy Buds Live. The star of Unpacked 2020 will undoubtedly be the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 series, which has been tipped to bring some major upgrades to Samsung's popular plus-sized phone line. The Note 20's key rumored features include a speedy and dynamic 120Hz display, a powerful Snapdragon 855 Plus processor, and improved S Pen with a faster response time and handy new wireless control tricks. The Galaxy Note 20's cameras look to several cues from the last year's Galaxy Note 20, including 12-megapixel main camera, 64-megapixel telephoto lens, and 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera, a complete with time-to-time flight sensor. But the larger Galaxy Note 20 Ultra proved to be the real show stealer of the whole event. With the same 108 megapixel main camera we saw on Galaxy S20, a larger battery, and a massive 6.87-inch Quad HD display. Last year's Samsung's Galaxy Fold was met with mixed reviews, but it was an important step towards help to kickstart a full-fledged folding smartphones market. After this well-received Samsung Galaxy Z Flip clamshell, Samsung is looking to do right by its original foldable phone with Galaxy Z Fold 2, a confusingly named device that should hopefully mix the first model's biggest flaws. Images shows that Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2 with some major changes, including a punch hole camera and pesky notch of the original. The front display also looks much larger, extending from 4.6 inches to 6.23 inches. And the phone is tipped to be have much more elegant, and it should be better job debris coat. Coming to Samsung Galaxy Watch 3, leaks have left like its imagination regarding to the Galaxy Watch 3, which is shaping to be worthy successor of 2018 original and could be the Samsung's strongest Apple Watch rival yet. The Samsung Galaxy Watch 3 is stupid to be include an ECG, blood pressure monitoring to be take on upcoming Apple Watch 6. Complete with the return of physical rotating bezel that was absent from the Galaxy Watch Active series. Samsung's new wearable is expected to sport a sleek stainless steel design, which looks gorgeous in both black and copper in the images. It will likely to come in 41mm and 45mm sizes with both LTE and Bluetooth variants. Just don't expect these all techs come to the cheap. The Galaxy Watch 3 is tipped to start at $400 and it could mostly reach to $600. And one of the major attraction of the Unpacked event is Samsung Galaxy Buds Live. After releasing all well-received Samsung Galaxy Buds Plus earlier in this year, Samsung already has its follow-up in the works. And they look unlike any pair of wireless earbuds you have seen ever. The bean-shaped Galaxy Buds Live could be the Samsung's most impressive buds yet. As it suggests, they will sport active noise cancellation for the price that could significantly undercut competitors like Apple AirPods Pro and Sony WF-1000 MX3. Leaked images suggest that Buds Live will stand out of the Apple Buds with sleek black, white, copper color schemes. If the Buds Live can truly deliver ANC for the rumored sub $200 below, we could see a serious new contender of the crown of best wireless earbuds. As everyone expected, Apple registered an event on September 9 to release their innovative products such as Apple iPhone 12, the biggest launch of the year. We have some rumors suggest that Apple is going to launch 4 of their latest iPhone models, but definitely iPhone 12 Pro will be the latest show stealer. Some leaks are reporting as Apple is going to ditch chargers in box because Apple claims that based on their story, people who are upgrading to latest iPhones are having the chargers and buds of the older iPhones and they are going to use those them. So for the price cut, they're removing the chargers in box. And Apple already announced that these 4 devices will come with latest 5G network connectivity in box. Chinese tech giant Xiaomi filed interesting patent on under-display camera recently. It could be one of the solutions for avoiding punch hole and notch display, where Xiaomi is saying that they are building new lens that they are capable of capturing images and videos even display is on top of the camera lens. That's it from today's update on tech news. Meet you guys tomorrow with some latest updates. Thank you.
Looking for year-round comfort for your home and garage? Then call Home Depot at 438-334-1844 and ask about Amar's Model 3000 doors. Amar's 3000 garage doors are insulated with thick polystyrene or polyethylene, protecting against the weather's extreme temperatures and increasing heating and cooling efficiency. They are available in style from traditional carriage house to contemporary. Plus, they are an unbeatable value with some of the best warranties available. So, when you are looking for a year-round comfort for your home and garage, check out Amar Garage Doors at Home Depot. Call today at 438-334-1844 and ask about garage doors from Amar. Thank you. Mark, where are you? Are you in bed? Or are you leaving your first human print on Mars? Are you jogging? Or are you about to pull off the heist of the century? Are you in the car? Or are you praying those red eyes in the darkness can't see you? A voice in your ear can take you everywhere. Audible. Get your first audiobook for free and feel every word. $7.99 a month after 30-day trial. Starts automatically. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello everyone, welcome to ASP News. This is Sai Krishna Samudrara. Now let's have a look at weather forecast this week. Well, for those of you who went out today, I don't have to tell you, it is sunny. It is a perfect weather to enjoy your outdoor activities. On Monday, there are showers. 40% chances of showers. On Monday night, it's gonna be partially cloudy. On Tuesday, a mix of sun and cloud. And on Wednesday, it might be sunny. In the morning and night, it has rain. On Thursday morning, continues to be clear and sunny, and it is also a perfect day for your outdoor activities. On Friday, it will be a mix of sun and cloud with 40% chances of shower in the night. Saturday, it is expected to be cloudy with 60% chances of shower. So this week, we might expect some frequent showers. Make sure you guys carry an umbrella with you. Hope everyone have a great week. Thank you. Keep listening to ASP News radio broadcast.
Bye.